Hello, my name is Mário Veloso. I am from Portugal and I did my film at an intensive course in directing for film and television at Escola das Artes da Universidade Católica Portuguesa. So, Chuvas de verão, which means summer rains, takes place in a summer rainy afternoon when a group of boys finds shelter in an old girl's bedroom, and they kind of destroy the matriarchal memory that exists there. Between their violent dynamics, one of the younger boys is haunted by somewhat of a premonition of desire, as I like to call it. It is a film that is inspired by some of my memories, but above all by the fascination that I had for the bedroom my mother and her sisters shared in their childhood. I was obsessed by that place and all the things that existed there, and they were above all Catholic and feminine symbols like baptism dresses, bride dresses, some photos. But at the same time, that old closed bedroom was very scary. And the pictures of the girls that once lived there seemed somehow haunted. They all seemed very sad, trapped, and dead, even though I knew who they were and they were not dead, but that's how it felt like. And when I started wondering what this obsession and fear could tell of the queer experience of a child, I also remembered a lot of the violent games and dynamics that I had with my male cousins, and to which I was always kind of an outcast. So I guess things started mixing up, and I started to imagine what these toxic masculinity behaviors could do to such a feminine sacred space. And how could a first gaze be born among that oppressive atmosphere, almost in the form of a premonition of tragedy, as I said before? And how could I link that queer child loneliness to the oppression of the girls that once lived in that bedroom? And I guess it was like the meeting of all those things, like a feminine past, a masculine present, and a queer future, that made me want to do this film and tell this story. I had a lot of inspirations and references for this film. I feel like the atmosphere and a lot of its elements are very influenced by a certain ethnographic tradition of Portuguese cinema that goes back to directors like António Reis and Margarida Cordeiro or Manuela Serra. I feel like those films made me want to look intensely at the traditions and the identity of the place where I come from in Braga. I think they made me want to rethink traditions and family under a non-conservative light, I think. A lot of the camera work and the mise-en-scène in general comes from those references too, and from the will to think about places and regions and traditions almost as characters. Maybe in this film, this sense of place is very confined to that room in the attic. but all of the elements of that room were taken from the Minho culture, that is the culture from Braga. So yeah, those films were very inspiring. And besides that, Vitor Eris is very important to me, and his portray of childhood and of memory. Lucrecia Martel, who I actually had the privilege to meet because she was a mentor to this project. I don't know, I really like how she creates almost a network of characters. I really like her portray of the heat, of desire, of undeveloped tensions. And she also has this sense of place, this sense of belonging, of culture, of identity, in a non-conservative way. Alice Horvacher for the same reasons, and because of the magical touch she brings to very harsh and tough realities. And maybe just to finish, I remember that I was really close to the shooting when I discovered Bill Henson's photographs of teenagers' intimate life. And I don't know, the way he frames those bodies helped me a lot to bring my characters and my own framings to light, I think. So I think this one may be a very hard question for me to answer, because my willing to make films, it comes from a lot of different places and things. Um, I think first of all it comes from the films that I love and the people and filmmakers that I admire, like the ones I mentioned before. But maybe nowadays what drives me the most is this search for identity and for this sense of belonging. The same thing I keep talking about in all of these questions. But yeah, maybe a sense of personal identity as a queer person against a sense of collective identity. This collective identity that relates to the traditions and values that I was mentioning before. I don't know, I really feel this will to return to the place where I was born and to shoot there and to relook at those traditions under another light, maybe let something come out of the tension of being queer and also wanting to be part of something that seems to reject that queerness. And I don't know how important it is to relook at our own culture, our own places, our own people, and rethink our identity from that. I think that is very important nowadays, that everything is globalized, to I don't know, to look at our uniqueness and what makes every place and every person unique and specific. And I don't know, I say this, I don't know, I would like to find in film a way to look at this in a way that is not conservative and is freeing. Yeah, above all, I think I am also very inspired by the friends who are always willing to do this with me and are all full of ideas to share and to bring to light too. And you cannot do a film on your own, and I think that's the most magical thing of this craft, is how people's ideas connect to find one final object. And yeah, thank you.